Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys all made some money this week. Now it is that time of the month. July has come and passed. It's time to go through my trades for the month and see how I did. Now, taking a quick peek at my portfolio value at the start of the month, you can see the account started with $175,552, and we ended the month at $174,339. Now that means it was a pretty nothing month, not a whole lot of movement. The account basically ended where it started. Now, I'm not showing this account to brag or to flex. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there with significantly larger accounts than me, but I do think it's necessary to add some context around the returns you're about to see in my account. I typically try to target 2 to 3% return every month, and I'm definitely not doing any insane YOLOs or placing any wild bets. They're all relatively conservative in the scheme of things, but I want to make it clear the account size needed to see these types of consistent returns. Now let's go ahead and jump into my trades for the month. As you can see at the top, I ended up making $1,894.54 in income for the month of July selling options premium. Now so far since making these videos, this has been my lowest income month, but that has a lot to do with the low volatility environment we're in right now. I don't want to put too much on the table. I'd rather get some smaller returns now and wait for a vol expansion and take advantage of that when the time actually comes. Now, the first trade at the top you're going to see there is Activision, and I ended up making $24.88 in income for the month of July. On June 15th, I opened up 2 short put options on the $92.50 strike and the $90 strike. I closed out one of them on July 12th for a small $55 profit, and I ended up rolling the other $92.50 put out to August, down to the $90 strike, and pulled in another $1.39 in premium. Now, when I did this originally, I thought I was a genius. Turns out they ended up getting sued by the state of California and have gotten nothing but bad press lately, and the stock has sold off all the way down to $80 at the time of recording this video. So at the moment, I'm like $10 in the money on that one, so we'll see how it goes. I still have a long-term good outlook on Activision, but again, we'll see what happens. Next up, I had Alibaba, which is definitely my biggest loss for the month of July, or at least my biggest realized loss for the month of July. I sold the 202.5 puts on June 30th when the stock was trading around 226, 227, that kind of range. And immediately after I sold it, it basically has not stopped going down. At one point, it actually went all the way down to just below 180. Since then, it's come back up. It's a little bit over 200 at the time of making this video. But on July 16th, I did end up rolling this out to the $200 strike and put it out 2 weeks further out in time. I still think it's a solid company and is incredibly oversold at the moment. Definitely still some major risks with any Chinese company at the moment, but I'm not too fearful having a few puts against this one. I don't know if I mentioned it, this is the one I took a $715.06 loss on in total, at least realized losses for the month of July. But already I'm basically at max profit from that roll, so I'll probably post a pretty big gain in the month of August on this one. And again, that's another reason I really love selling put options. You could really manage them, you can roll them out in time. As long as you still have a long-term conviction on it, it could still play out in the long run. Now, the next trade you see there was on Biogen, BIIB. I made a total of $187.88. For this one, I sold 2 of the Biogen 255 puts on June 30th and ended up closing them out about a month later for a total of $187.88 in profit. Nothing super crazy on this one. I do like the stock. I'm not a huge fan of their Alzheimer's drug, but the rest of the drugs they've got in the pipeline seem to be pretty profitable, and they make some pretty good income. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue selling puts against Biogen, but we'll see what happens. Next one up was Chewy, where I sold 2 of the $71.50 puts on July 15th. I closed them out only 6 days later for a total profit of $169.86. Next one up is Coin, which I've actually been selling a lot of weeklies against lately, and pretty consistently. It has some pretty decent volatility and seems to be towards its lower end range. Rarely do I sell such short time duration, but I've been switching it up a little bit for this one. Over the month, I sold the 200s, 202.5s, 207.5s, and 212.5s. and pulled in a total of $650.56 in premium for Coinbase. A few of these were only actually held for a day or so, and the longest duration was only 8 days. I'll probably continue selling against Coin as long as it stays in the low 200 range. If we see a pop in price, I may have to switch things up a bit. Not sure how I feel about Coinbase in the $300 range, but we'll see. Next one up has been pretty popular with YouTubers lately is Corsair CRSR. It hasn't been doing so hot in the last few days, but the last month I sold 4 $30 puts on June 14th and ended up closing them out on July 12th for a total profit of $352.72. Next one up was Disney. Disney is one of those companies with some crazy low volatility, so I'm not sure if I'm going to continue selling options against them going forward. I really do like the company, but I'm not able to squeeze out much premium on these guys, and it's tying up a big chunk of capital, so we'll see what happens next. On June 7th, I did open up a total of 3 contracts on the 167.5 and 165 strikes and closed them out on July 12th for a total profit of $313.81. Next one up is Intel. Intel is actually another value play that I'm doing, but has a decent amount of volatility price into it. I ended up selling 6 puts against the $53.5, $52, and $53 strikes. With the recent dip in price about 2 weeks ago, I ended up rolling out the 53.5 strikes down to the 52.5 strike and pulled an additional premium of 44 cents each. Now I did have to go about 3 weeks out in time, but it's actually played off pretty good. Intel's had a nice little pop up, and I'll probably close those out on max profit. But for the month of July, it is showing me a realized loss of $85.88 in total for the month of July on Intel. Now the next one up is Micron, where I sold a total of 4 puts across the $75 and $72.5 strikes. I ended up closing those out about 30 days after I put them on, and I closed them out for a total profit of $356.26. Next one up is Rocket, one of those meme stocks, one of my biggest losses in the account for the month. And this was on the Rocket puts I sold for the $20 strikes. It shows as a loss of $516.29 for the month, but I did end up rolling them out to the August monthlies, pulling in an additional 40-cent credit. Now, I did leave them on the same strike, so I'm still betting on it popping back up, but I'll just keep rolling it out as long as it takes. I still have faith that it's going to pop back up in the long run. Now, the next one up is brand new to the portfolio, and that would be SoFi. In my account, you see I did take a small loss of $3.71 in total in the account for the month of July. But to be fair, this is because I just ended up taking assignment on about 400 shares in total of the stock, which are pretty deep in the money at the moment. Normally, I would have just rolled them out for a credit, but I did completely forget. I woke up Saturday morning with an assignment and just decided to roll with it. So I've just been selling covered calls against those shares, basically just running the wheel on SoFi. And this is another one that I do like for the long run. It's pretty deep in the money at this point. I got assigned the $20 strikes and the $17.5 strikes, and I think SoFi is trading just under 17 at the moment. But I like it for the long run. I don't mind holding a few hundred shares of SoFi if need be. Now the next one up is one of my favorites. It's Tesla. I've said in some previous videos, and I promise I am truly trying to move away from Tesla being such a large portion of my income every month, but it was still one of the main drivers in the account for this month. I ended up selling the 495 puts and the 550 puts and closed them out the day before earnings for a total profit of $1,211.87 in premium. Next up, we had Tattooed Chef, where I sold 3 puts on the $22 strike, and I sold those on June 15th. I ended up closing them out on July 16th, about 30 days later, with a total profit of $273.37. Now, last but not least, we also had Walgreens. On this guy, I ended up selling the $50.5 puts on June 25th and ended up rolling them out to July 16th and down to the $50 strike. Now, on this one, I did pull in an additional 15 cents in credit, but I'm at this point like $4 in the money. And for the month of July, I realized a loss of $325.06. But Walgreens is another one of those value plays that I don't mind holding for the long run. I'm going to continue rolling these down and out each month, and hopefully we see it push back in the next few weeks. Now, like I said before, the total realized gains for the month ended up being $1,894.54. This was a total return of 1.1% for the month. Not the greatest of months, but like I said before, I am pretty cautious with the amount of positions I have on right now. With the VIX at such low levels, I'm a little hesitant to put on too many positions. I'd rather get some subpar returns for a few months and then be able to capitalize on a vol expansion when it comes. Another way I could manage this would be turning my naked options into spreads, but I'd rather just reduce size rather than create a spread, and that's just personally. The ability to roll is one of my favorite things about selling naked options. I don't have the safety of a long put like you would have with a vertical spread, but I do get the advantage of having lower break-evens, greater max profit, and I can manage them far easier if something does go against me. But that's it for the month. Thank you guys all for watching till the end. Some of this isn't the most interesting material to go through, but these monthly checkups are definitely holding me to staying on top of my portfolio. I've never been one to journal my trades, so this has actually been super helpful for me. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys want to continue following along with my monthly progress. And like always, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. And good luck to you all through earnings season, and I'll catch you all in the next video.